What's up, everybody? It's Kicking It with Kay. So glad you could join me again, and hopefully y'all enjoy this video. So I actually put up an Instagram post if y'all wanted to see a life as a DJ or as a life as a stepmom. And so one or the other will definitely go up. I'm not sure which one, but I'm going to record both because I thought it'd be kind of a cool video. And so whichever one first, which will be the one that goes up. So the life as a DJ. So I thought I'd show y'all my shirt, and it's gonna be kind of like a vlog. But I worked for KCLV, and then you're gonna find out where I got my YouTube channel name from, because my DJ show name was Kicking It with Kay. So on KCLV. Kicking Country with Kay. So I just put Kicking It with Kay. So that's how I came up with my YouTube name, if you ever wanted to know. But my show was called Kicking It with Kaylee. I actually did a show from 3 to 7 Monday through Friday. And so we did older music, like oldies, new country, Texas country. We were kind of like all over the place with my show. So everyone goes like, what was it being like with being a DJ? Like, that must have been like the coolest job in the world. Don't get me wrong, guys. Like, it's so cool to like hit the thing on the board, because there's like a huge board that we use, and you know, to pull up your mic and turn it on and, you know, talk for the 45 seconds that you have to talk, and then of course go back to music. And trust me, it was the coolest thing to talk. I really enjoyed that part of my job. But I'm going to tell you what a day to life of my radio job looked like, and what I really like, pros about being in the radio business and cons about being in the radio business. So hopefully y'all enjoyed this. This will be the life of a DJ. Well, let's get on into it. So, like I said, I was in the radio, and I worked there for almost 3 years. It's crazy to think that. And so my job is, I'd usually go in. So my job was actually program director / DJ. So I would go in actually on the morning shows, and I'd help with the morning shows. And then after the morning shows were over, I would get back on the board, and the time I'd go to make sure that we had all the musics in, we had all the commercials loaded, we had new sound bites in there, that we had good liners and stuff that would be in there. And so I would have to make sure that all of that was up to date on Mondays. And then usually I'd go in, make sure we had all the brand new music. I had to stay on top of the top 20, of course. So we had to make sure that we were playing the top 20 music and that we were up to date. So I'd have to go in the top 20, and you'd have to use a certain website of what was actually the top 20, because of course if you go to every different websites, they're going to tell you like, this is the top 20, this is the top 20. So we had to like go off of certain things the radio requires. And so I would check to see if we had all the songs in there, and then I would actually go in the back and make sure that all of the top 20 were in the right order. Not even so if the most popular song would play more than, of course, the top 20 would, or the number 20 out of the top 20 would play. So the more popular song would play. So after I've done all of that day, so if there is any commercials that I need to record, so of course the whole way that radio works is salespeople actually go out and they get people to buy advertising from us, and then us as radio personnel would actually record their spots. We would edit them, make them sound cool, put sound bites behind them, make it slow, make it fast, whatever we needed to do, and then we put it up on the air, and then their spot would play. So of course there's logistics of like how many times a day it would play, or if they're going to be a sponsor of a certain show, or a certain time of the day, or weather, or news, or anything like that. So that's something you need to know. So there's more logistics than that, but I would see if there's any commercials I need to record. So I would record commercials, and then after that, it'd probably be lunchtime, so I would go to lunch, eat some yummy lunch, come back, and then I would sit down and get ready for my show. So my show started at 3, so I'd get back about 1, and so of course one of my things that I would do is I would go make sure that I would know what I was talking about that day. So we'd actually use this website where we could actually get content that we could be using on our radio shows. And so I had to make sure that the content I was using, Rick didn't use that morning. So, which was the guy that did the morning shows. So I would have to go in, he would highlight what he had done, and so I would scribble it out so I could talk about it. And so unless it was like an event that's happening in the community, we would talk about that. But if it was something nationally that he's already talked about this morning, I try to avoid that because that's something you just don't want to hear again in your afternoon show. So I would scribble that out, and then if whatever content I didn't have, then I would go to country artist news and see what's going on there, because I did have a younger audience that would listen to my show, and we would get statistics on like who was actually listening to my show, so I could base it off my show and what we should be having other that like my listeners would want to listen to and want to hear about. So there's a lot that goes on in radio. So I would do that, and then by the time it was 3, I'd get ready. So about 2:45, I would start making sure I was at my desk. I had everything in front of me, and I would make sure that the board was ready, that I was sounding okay, and that everyone else could hear me just fine before I get on. And of course, I'd get on and I'd talk about everything till 7. Well, at 7, of course, then I would end my day. Sometimes, then, of course, again, I told you I was the program director, so I was also in charge of running the boards for if we had events. So if we did a live remote, so that means someone would go out and talk about, I don't know, say we did a live remote at a car dealership, for instance, and so we're talking about cars, so that could be an hour or 2. Or one of the big things that we did sports, so we broadcast sports games, and so someone would have to be there to man the station, and so I was in charge of that. And then of course everyone underneath me that would, excuse me, I'm so sorry, and everyone that would underneath me that would help me stay in charge of that. So I would help them learn how to use the board, what commercials we'd be using, what time they needed to play, all that fun jazz, and I'd have to put that together. On top of that, of course, I had to make sure the next day played like it was supposed to. So, of course, everyone goes, oh, well, you just put CDs in. Like, no, we don't do that anymore. There's a whole system that we would actually use, and it would have it labeled, excuse me, wow, I should stop yawning. There'd be a whole label of things that we'd have to use. And so I'd set it up for the whole day to make sure that we have liners at the right time. We have 4, because we do, in my show it'd be 4 song sets, in Rick's show it'd be a 3 song set, and then outside of our show it'd be a 4 song set. So we had 4, so it'd be a liner, 4 songs, 3 commercials, liner, 4 songs, 3 commercials, liner, 4 songs, 3 commercials. Okay, you get the point. And then at the top of the hour it'd be news and weather. So we had to make sure all of that was in there for the next day, because we just wanted to make sure it was on top of that. And of course, all the stops and starts for me and Rick for the next day, so we knew when we were supposed to talk and when we weren't supposed to talk. And if there was something that we needed to talk about during a certain hour, there was a clip saying this is what we need to talk about during that hour. All of that had to be in there, and I was in charge of that. So I had a lot to do at my job. The life of a DJ was interesting. I never worked like an 8 to 5 job. It was never that. Most of the time it was 8 to 7 or 5 to midnight, or it was all over the place. So yeah, hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. The life of a DJ is definitely interesting, so if y'all look into that. I feel like every radio station is going to do it differently, but that's just how my radio station did it. Hopefully y'all enjoy. Please give it a like down below and subscribe for more content. And hit the bell if you want to see more content from me. I appreciate it, guys. Hopefully y'all have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.